I bet you missed us. Welcome back. We are a couple of days before the start of training camp for the Miami Dolphins. Rookies have already reported on Thursday. I am Omar Kelly, Miami Herald columnist. This is Dolphins in Depth. You're about to be joined by Isaiah Smalls, the Dolphins beat reporter for the Miami Herald, and we are in our last days of freedom because our lives will be planned very meticulously till January, the first week of January, the regular season, and maybe beyond if the Dolphins make the playoffs. But Isaiah, before you end your last days of freedom,
Yeah,
uh, are you ready for training camp?
I am ready for training camp. I'm going to Atlanta this weekend to do a one last hurrah. But
Turn up.
yeah, one. I ain't doing all that now.
Oh, no,
I
no,
ain't
no,
taking.
no. This is
I'll
this
say
is
that.
your first. This is your first offseason. It's like going to jail, man. You you you
I'll,
you, you know you about to do a bid. What you gonna do before you do your bid? Like,
I guess I'll save the real turn up to the weekend that we are in Atlanta for the game, because that is homecoming weekend, as well as Clark's homecoming. So that's always a good time. I'm gonna save the real turn up for then, but just something light. I'm gonna go see some friends. See some beautiful people. It is what it is. So
oh,
I'm excited.
beautiful people. I see what you're saying. I got the hint.
Yo, chill.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got rookies reporting. Jonah Savaiinaea. Did I
You
say it right?
still no Savaiinaea.
Savaiinaea. All
You
right.
say it regular. You put too much emphasis on the vai. Like your like shoulders are like going up to the top of your
I,
head.
I, I, I am going to struggle. He is Jonah S from this point on because I just
Okay.
can't get it.
Okay.
Jonah S is the only Dolphins rookie who has not reported. As I wrote in a Miami Herald column, this is a complicated situation for a lot of these second round picks. Understand this is about business. This has nothing to do with the Miami Dolphins. This has nothing to do with Jonah. It has more to do with the NFLPA and their intended push to make sure that second round picks have guaranteed contracts. Now, two signed with guaranteed contracts. One did not sign with a fully guaranteed contract. Jonah, he was a later second round pick. Jonah is an earlier second round pick. I don't know how this is going to end. And this isn't, we're talking about 28 players where this is impacted. And understand the importance of it is for people who don't get it, NFL contracts are not guaranteed to anybody except for first round picks. First round picks have 4 years of fully guaranteed contracts. There's a fifth year option. Everybody after that has a portion of their contract guaranteed, but not fully guaranteed in terms of rookies. Veterans, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I'm not even going to bring that into the equation. But second round picks, we're basically haggling over $2.4 million of Jonah's 11 million something contract and finding and making a push for it to be guaranteed. This is important from a league standpoint because players are trying to push heavier and heavier guaranteed contracts. Understand that there's nothing in any sports league's collective bargaining agreement that dictates these contracts have to be guaranteed. The NBA does not have anything in their language where it has to be guaranteed. Major League Baseball, NHL. All of those sports, though, however, have guaranteed contracts for their players. The NFL is the only sport that does not have guaranteed contracts. And it should, considering it's the most physical and brutal sport, and the players average the lowest salary, but that's a whole nother conversation. If the second round picks make a push for it, or at least make headway, they get closer to the ultimate finish line. Maybe the second round is guaranteed next year, fully guaranteed next year. And probably in another 5 years, maybe they get the third round picks fully guaranteed the year after. But I would like to point out something that I don't think a lot of people have considered or thought about. NIL deals now, especially in the SEC, are hovering around $800,000 to over $1 million a year for starting players. I don't even know what rookies are making, what freshmen are making. So think about a Fort Jr. who is who is projected as a third round draft pick. Why would he come to the NFL for his signing bonus and a base salary of $840,000 when he could probably make about $2 million from a college team?
No, I mean that's real, but you also have to think about. I know it's mainly the NBA that really has this infatuation with the younger players, but I think it's across all sports. You want a guy that's as young and as skilled as possible, right? So you don't want to go back and risk, God forbid, an injury that drops your draft stock from 3rd to 5th, right? It's very, to me. I mean, I don't want to say it's very rare, but I think it's rare that you have guys that are 3rd round picks or that are first or second day guys that go back and then come out even higher than that. Like somebody, like, think about Ollie Gordon, right? Like imagine, like, I'm sure he wanted to go out after his
he probably should have.
He probably should have, but he couldn't, right? That's just the rules, right?
He came out as a junior?
Yeah, he came out as a junior. Yeah, he had to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
but he could go transfer to University of Miami and probably could have made $2 million.
You're completely correct. But then this is when you start thinking about the psychology of certain players. Right? Certain guys are just loyal, like point blank period. They're just loyal, right? They want to stick with the guy that got him there, the guy that believes. And if that happens to be the case, you cannot fault them for that, because in this day and age with NIL, where guys are jumping from one school to the next, I prioritize loyalty, right?
Okay, that's cute. That's cute until the Miami Herald don't want to give you a raise, and you're gonna have to go work in Charlotte or Green Bay or Philadelphia, and you don't want to leave, but they ain't being loyal to you.
That's fair, and I think you cross that bridge when you come to it, right? I think all these situations are very subjective, right? But from the outside looking in, right? Like I just. The NFL doesn't really, sports leagues in general don't like older players, right? They want you as young and as skilled as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're
the quicker you get into the NFL, the sooner you get to your second contract.
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
But money is money. Quinn Ewers, mm-hmm. I was told by an agent friend of mine, they know for a fact he was offered a contract of $2 million to go play in an ACC school. Quinn Ewers is not making $2 million this year. Mm. Should he have done that and then entered the draft? That's on a Quinn Ewers decision. And I've heard that there might be more higher offers out there for Quinn Ewers if he had gone back to college. At this point, here's what agents should be pushing for. Because you can sign with an agent and still play college football, because you should be able to enter the draft, not sign, and go back and play college football. You should technically.
Shamar Stewart, thinking about it, seems like he might do just that.
Yeah. So now the game is changing a little bit. And it's, interestingly enough, college football is what's competing with the NFL when we thought nothing was ever going to compete with the NFL. Mm-hmm. Now college players are making millions of dollars. Yeah. They're talking about the quarterback making $4 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't even think he would have been drafted if he entered the draft. No. So what would Quinn Ewers have made?
That's for real. Yeah, because he's definitely better than Carson Beck for sure.
Yeah. Sure. So so here's the thing: the NFL can't take this hardline stance. Oh, we're not going to guarantee contracts. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you can guarantee contracts, or college football can guarantee contracts. Somebody gonna guarantee contracts.
But I think it's gonna take that guy. It's gonna take one guy to do exactly what you said, right? Because right now it's kind of nebulous, right? Like everyone just kind of operating off the precedent. Like I forget the player. I think it was either Texans or the Chargers. Was it Trey Harris that signed the guarantee deal? Regardless, it was Trey Harris.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He signed.
So it was. I'm trying to remember. It's the name is escaping. But whatever player signed that second round. Who's drafting second round, sound that fully guaranteed deal. That's what changed everything, because now all the agents are like, well, he did it, and if he got it, I want it, and so that's what kind of got the ball rolling. Only today have we started to see a few today, and I believe last night, Alfred Collins was the first guy that didn't have his deal fully guaranteed since that kind of standoff started. Well, I'm saying in the next
you're right. You're right, but
I'm
I'm very disappointed now for Collins and his agent.
Yeah, you should have held the line. I agree with you.
You should have held the line. You broke the line.
Because someone would have broke. Because what you teams,
what happens if someone doesn't break? Look at the Miami Dolphins. Do they have the leverage to? Because I don't know anybody more important than Jonah.
Yeah, I was about to say they do not have
the offensive line
at all. That's what I'm and I was trying to think of the teams that drafted a second round guy that they need.
Yeah,
and I kept going back to the Dolphins because I'm pretty sure
they traded all their draft picks
for this guy specifically. And so if they would have held the line, Alpha Collins would have held the line. I forget someone else just signed Shamar Turner, I believe, a D tackle. Like he signed again, and I don't think his was fully guaranteed either.
Man, these guys are not holding the line. That's crazy.
Look, man, it's kind of. I'm not saying it's like a scab, but like it's kind of like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I agree with you.
The problem, what the NFL has always benefited from, and understanding the NFL is owned by 32 and even more because they're minority owners now. Probably, but majority owners are 32 of the richest businessmen in the world, and their CFOs and CEOs and chief operating officer and chief financial officer, who are also some of the smartest business people in the world, because these are who they are employing them. So you're not going to outsmart them. You're really not going to outsmart them. You're not going to strategize better than them. And the problem that the players union has, one, bad leadership, which is just a hot mess. I only want to get into it, but it's a hot mess. Literally, the NFLPA leader is an employee of people trying to own NFL teams.
I saw that.
It's and he was voted in a secret vote that didn't involve the players union. Like it's a hot mess.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms.
That's a whole can of worms that I don't even like. I don't want nobody trying to whack me at the knees, because Morris Smith hated me, and I ain't trying to make no more enemies. But they can benefit from the fact that players have a short shelf life. They have a short timeline to get paid. Their contracts aren't guaranteed. So you can't be worrying about the next guy or the class 10 years from now. You got to be worried about yourself now, which is how they always cave. And I guess these second round picks, they want their little bonuses, and they don't want to create change. It's sad, and now that the league just got away with colluding against Lamar Jackson, like there is no consequence to colluding. Like the NFL, people don't realize the NFL owners meeting is 3 days of collusion. Nah. Like 3 days of collusion, planning, strategizing to collude against the workforce. Like, so, and when you have weak leadership, you just let everybody do you. Like but anyway, one day Jonah will report. Speaking of rookies, let's get into our expectations for this rookie class. I recently wrote a column where I can expect 5 rookies to be in the mix for starting spots. It's realistic that 5 of these rookies are in the mix for starting spots, not just contributing spots. You got the 3 defensive linemen. Nobody really knows who's going to play. I looked at the history of defensive linemen going back to I don't even know how far I went back. Jordan Phillips, maybe the first Jordan Phillips, the lazy one. Yeah, he was lazy. He was lazy. He was real lazy. Perk used to make fun of me because I always, when I selected to use a picture of Jordan Phillips, there was always a picture of him loafing on the bags and land.
I know you be petty with your picture usage. For everyone that watches this, Omar is super petty. Next time you're reading an Omar Kelly column, you pay attention to that picture, and it'll tell you a lot about how
it depends on how I feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It shows you a lot about how he feels about that person.
Don't be out with me like that. But yes, I used to intentionally, and Perk used to make fun of me all the time because I intentionally, Jordan Phillips used to be loafing on some bags, and they got a picture of it. And anytime I wrote about Jordan Phillips, it was usually about him being lazy. He was cut, in my fairness, he was cut by Adam Gase because he was lazy during the season, claimed by Buffalo. Yes, a second-round pick got cut during the season because he was lazy. He just got cut by Dallas because he was lazy. And Buffalo picked, yes, last year he got cut by Dallas because he was lazy. Buffalo picked him up. He's like, only Buffalo gets me. I get to be lazy and I not tremendous athlete, great player. Nah, I take that back. Good player. When he wants to play, he can wreck the game.
Okay.
When he wants to play.
When he wants to play, yeah, that's a key word there. When he wants to play.
But he's had a 10-year career. He's made over $20 million. He's taking a victory lap.
Oh yeah. He good. He good. He don't care about what picture you use, Omar. He does not care.
But we get back to my study. Every Dolphins defensive lineman that has been drafted in 5th round or higher has played 500 snaps in the season. So that means we could expect 500 snaps from Jordan Phillips. Mm-hmm. We could expect 500 snaps from Kenneth Grant. Now, can I promise you they'll be good snaps? Because if I'm being real with you, Christian Wilkins wasn't really that good as a rookie.
Yeah, I was looking at those numbers today, and it really was. I think he only had like 2.5 sacks as a rookie.
Yeah, he wasn't a sack guy until his final year, but he wasn't that great in all aspects of the game. He got better as time progressed, as most do. So, what are your expectations for those defensive linemen?
I think if anyone, I mean, obviously just based on draft position, if anyone has the edge, obviously it's KG, right? Kenneth Grant, right? And honestly, what I would want to see is maybe don't replicate that Christian Wilkins year, but replicate maybe the year before the breakout, right? The 2022 season, right? 6 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery.
As a rookie,
3.5 sacks. I'm not saying those. I'm reading you out the numbers. I'm not saying replicate those exact stats. I'm just reading out the numbers. I say that because he has a running mate in Zach Sieler, right, who is a game wrecker, right? And so what I want to see from Kenneth Grant is specifically doing the things that Greer and McDaniel drafted him for, specifically with his ability to move the pocket, right, affect the pocket, and move it in certain directions with just his sheer size and speed. But then also I want him to be a force in the run game, right? If he plans to be a nose tackle, as the Dolphins, draft him to be, he has to be one of those guys that can stop the run, right? I want him to be just it's a big gap guy where if you run at him, like it's over, right? And that's what I want from him. In terms of Zeke Biggers and Jordan Phillips, look, just crack the rotation. If you crack the rotation, just give me serviceable minutes. As you said, not all 500 snaps have to be perfect, right? But if you can give me a good, you're a rookie, right? So if you can give me a third of those snaps look good at the beginning of the year, and you can grow to maybe 40 and maybe 50% of the snaps look good, I don't have an issue with that because you're drafted later rounds, right? Now, Kenneth Grant, the bar is a lot higher. Outside of those positions, and I know you're going to get to this. I'm gonna take a leap of faith and say the 2 other guys that you say are gonna have that will have an opportunity to get in the mix are Jonah and Jason Marshall Jr. Am I correct?
Yes.
Jonah obviously has.
I think Ollie Gordon has a chance. Okay. Who's to say that he can't beat out? Jalen.
I agree with you. I think we liked both of us. Saw some things that we definitely liked from him. I mean, he definitely has good speed. Obviously, he runs high, right? And as Coach Studesville told us, like he's not going to change that, right? He's going to instead, educate him, right, to the perils of running high. You think about a guy like DeMarco Murray, right?
They just have short.
Yeah, exactly. He's
been running like that since he was probably like 6 years old. He's not going to change his style now.
Exactly.
It's just and that to me is why you play him. You just the running backs are like tires. I've heard this from NFL people. Running backs are like tires. Yeah, you run them till the treads run off.
Yeah, and that's rough. That's a rough way to think of it, but I mean, yeah, and obviously, like they got a steal for a guy that was, the best running back in the country.
Probably because he runs high.
Yeah.
Teams know. Teams know.
I mean, runs high, but then also his stats took a dramatic hit in year 2. But that's because
he had a little off the field situation.
Yeah, but that is because I mean, they knew about him that year, right? You can surprise somebody one year, but once they know about you, they're stacking that box. And
no, I think he has. One, if you look at Mike McDaniel's history, even going back to the 49ers, Mike has no preference about who he plays. If you can master the play call, if you can get the concepts together, and you know what you're supposed to do, it really comes down to intellectually. I remember this is one of the best things that a player once shared with me. Brian Hartline, who's I think offensive coordinator at Ohio State now, former Dolphins wide receiver, one of the smartest players that I ever covered. I used to go to him all the time when there was things that I did not understand. He would explain them to me. This is why he's a good coach. And I could always tell you who's going to be a good coach and who's not, because he used to swear to me he wasn't going to coach. He always said to me, you know what the difference is between the young players that play early and the young players that don't play? And he was like, intellect. Can you get the playbook? If coaches can't trust you, they're not going to play you. And that follows Cam Smith. Cam Smith is a superior athlete to a lot of the cornerbacks that played. Yeah, there's some durability issues, but it's not there yet. And will it ever be there? I don't know. And Vic Fangio said, can't trust you. Weaver put you on the field. We saw we can't trust you. And intellect. Can you master it? Can you get it? Can you diagnose? Can you figure it out? Are you a quick learner? Brian Hartline, I believe the year he was drafted, Pat Turner was a son of an NFL coach, a superior athlete. Don't tell Brian that. He was drafted ahead of Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline was the one who played and became the starter. You never heard of Patrick Turner. But and then Jason Marshall Jr. I don't know. Can you tell me who are the 3 starting cornerbacks?
No, I cannot. I mean, Cater Coe, I can tell you that. I can tell you that. But outside of that, I cannot. Right, and so that's obviously why he has the best. Not the best, but a pathway to start. The only thing is we didn't see much from him, in the brief snippets of mini camping
but in his fairness, that we didn't see much from a lot of those guys.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Keep in mind, Tyreek ain't working. The game changes when Tyreek works.
Of course.
Jalen Waddle was half working.
Yeah.
Spot situations, and he was tearing you up in those spot situations.
Yeah.
Westbrook Akine, he was hurt. And really, who else is there on the receiving unit?
But to that point, that's when you want to see domination from the defensive side of the ball, right? For me, I mean, you saw that a little bit in the trenches, right? But on the outside and on the back end, not really. And that to me is the safeties had better days than the corners, but yeah, the safety. Think about those picks. Think about who got those picks.
I saw a lot of cornerbacks with picks.
Who?
Yeah. Isaiah Johnson,
Iffy, Dante, and then Isaiah Johnson. That was it. It was Iffy.
Trader had a pick.
Dante Trader, yes, Dante. He's a safety. Yes, thank you. 2-1 as far as I'm concerned. They had a better day taking the ball away than the corners did. That's objectively true. It was 2-1.
We'll see when Tyreek shows up if the game is changed. We gonna figure out who can actually play cornerback.
Of course,
when Tyreek shows up to work.
Of course, but you can't lie and say it's not a cause for concern that they weren't really that the best play that was made from that cornerback unit was by a guy that was on the practice squad last year. Like that's
Isaiah Johnson's a baller now. Don't hold on.
I agree. He has all the intent. Like he looks the part.
He's my dark horse. He is my dark horse. I think if you here's the thing. Will everybody be getting a fair shot?
No, not at all.
Do you because
No,
I
because you know
don't
what? You
know.
know how I know that? Because Cam Smith is going to get run, and I haven't seen anything from him that shows that he deserves that run.
But that's a Chris Greer. I prefer to give my draft picks.
But even you using the word prefer shows that it's not fair.
It's preferential treatment, but we got to base it on productivity. Like Noah Igbenogany got preferential treatment for 4 years. He still sucked, and he always went from first team to third team. It happened, every year he still started in the league, but he always started high and then came low. I'm curious to see if they'll do what Brian Flores did. I think it was a 2019 season where Nick Needham became a starter, and it was based on practice performance and daily practice performance. You practiced well that day. Well, no matter what unit you were playing in, you went to first team the next day, and they saw how you responded to first team the next day. Then the next day, whoever practiced well, they got moved up.
I like that.
And I'm not going to say it worked, but it was interesting, and it allowed the better play. Like I always respect, and the player that I always respect the most on the team are the players who earned everything that they've got. They keep what they kill.
Of course.
Nick Needham earned his job that year. Mm-hmm. He got on the field, and he literally won a game for the Dolphins as a rookie against Indianapolis. And then we had the whole Safie Dean, superstar. We was asking questions about Nick Needham, and Brian Flores was like, y'all treating him like he a superstar. He laughed, and then Brian Flores was like, what's so funny, Safie? Oh yeah. I'm petty, I am.
No, I gotta text Safie about that. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it's an infamous meme that Dolphin. Yeah, he always picked on Safie, which is sad. But my point is Nick Needham earned his playing time, and before Cater Kohu only surfaced because Nick Needham got hurt. So, and then Cater got his opportunity. He shined at times. He struggled his his second season, but came back and had a really strong, respectable third season. My question about the secondary is this. Obviously, Cater's going to want to play boundary too. You know why he's going to want to play boundary? More money. For those who cannot see the podcast.
Yes.
More money.
More money.
More money. So now if Cater goes to the boundary and then also plays nickel, who serves as the backup nickel? Do we have a backup nickel? Is it Art?
Well, I was about to say, wouldn't it be Artie?
If Artie makes the team, because we haven't seen Artie prove that he belongs in the NFL, have we?
I could give him contracts, but I think from a leadership standpoint, there is definitely an argument to keep him in the room, because if you look to we already talked about how it's kind of the blind leading the blind out there, right? There's not. I'm sorry, for lack of better terms.
It's the truth.
It's the lack of better terms. There are guys in this that are leading this locker room that haven't been perennial starters in their career, right? Cater Code had a solid season last year, and he's the leader in that room. No disrespect to Cater Code, but it's just the reality of the situation, right? And so when you think about that, at the very least, Artie Burns has a pedigree, University of Miami, first round pick. Started, several games. Obviously, he's been in the league for a minute now, so obviously his production going to tail off. But if you're looking at a guy who's walked the walk, for lack of a better terms, I wouldn't necessarily want to get rid of that guy.
We'll see. It depends on the productivity.
And also it depends on if they sign somebody, in the next.
Oh yeah, because he's on the first thing out here. First thing smoking the minute they find somebody they want to claim. That's just the reality of this business. They always want to invest in the young guys. You could cut Artie, and Artie can sign. Artie doesn't have to be claimed. Yeah. If you release Isaiah Johnson, he's on the waiver wire to be claimed. So you could always get Artie back. You can sign him to the practice squad. This is the business mechanism of the NFL, which is not necessarily fair. It's not always about performance or productivity. Most of the time, it's about money. And I'll point out to you, or he's this type of veteran where if he's on the roster the first day of the season, he has to get his whole contract guaranteed. Whereas if you cut him and then re-sign him the second week of the season, you go week to week.
Yeah, that's true.
It's gangsta out here in the NFL.
Yeah, it's some man.
So
that's crazy.
that's the business end. Now, speaking about business, the Miami Dolphins will have a interesting, probably complicated situation with Zach Sieler, who most of us expect to be a camp hold-in in some form or fashion, considering he was a training camp and mini camp OTA hold-in. According to Mike McDaniel, he was there every day. He just didn't show up to the field every day. And when he did show up to the field, he didn't work. Clearly, this is not an injury, considering Zach is the 31st highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. And that's an average. That's not even what he's making check-wise this year, because what he's making check-wise this year, which is $7 and some change million, he's the 50th highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. God. So, now, in fairness to the Miami Dolphins, they did do his contract twice. When he was a restricted free agent, and then when he heading into the year, he was a restricted free agent, and then heading into the final year of his deal. He signed a three-year, $30.75 million contract. $20 million of his was guaranteed. He was averaging 10.25 throughout the duration of the contract. And now the guaranteed money is gone. Player of Zach Sieler's caliber, here is why you make sure that you have guaranteed money on future years. If Zach Sieler goes out there to training camp and suffers an ACL injury in week 1, the Dolphins can cut him and not owe him a penny. Not even be responsible. Well, they are responsible for rehabbing him, but technically, bye-bye, Zach. And Zach is under contract for 2 years, $16 million the next 2 years. But a player of his caliber is making $16 million a year, not $16 million over 2 years. And as he approaches 30, which is basically when the NFL wants to take you out back and shoot you, put him down.
I know. Old Yeller. I got you.
That's your last chance to get the money.
Yeah.
Before the NFL wants you to pay for 60 to 70 cents on the dollar for what you're worth.
Yeah.
How, if you're Chris Greer and the Miami Dolphins, do you handle this Zach Sieler situation?
I mean, I don't want to say a blank checkbook, but but I think once
you don't have to do nothing.
You have to do something.
You do? Why do you? You have him under contract for 2 years.
I think, well, one, you've already set this terrible precedent of you have one good year, let's pay you, right? And obviously that blew up in your face.
And that blew up in your face.
That definitely blew up in your face a little bit.
But he's had 2 good years.
I was about to say, but with Zach specifically.
Hold on, and Tyreek had 2 dominant years.
I agree.
Waddle had 2 good years. Tua had 1 good year.
I was about to say, the way you want me for them adjectives. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted, sir. One good year.
All right.
But I think, but when you think about Zach Sieler, right, it's the on-field production is great, right? Obviously, that's why he wants the money. But if you look at who he is in that locker room, in the culture, quote unquote, people who can't see me, I'm putting up air quotes right now, that they're trying to build. You want a guy like Zach Sieler at the foundation. I've said this time and time again. He's a guy, to your point, who has eaten what he's killed, right? It's a guy who came to the league undrafted, who was able to carve out a nice little career for himself, right? And those are the guys that you should want to reward, right? And if
they rewarded him twice.
You're right, but the market has changed drastically. You had a guy in Milton.
Is that my problem?
We're not. It's not.
Is that my problem?
You
not signed the deal.
It's not your problem. It's not your problem. But in the interest of good faith, right? If you're trying to set a new culture where, look, that 1 year stuff, we're not doing that no more. You have one good year. The next year you come back and you ball again. Then we can talk. I think that's the type of I guess precedent that they need to be setting, right? show me. It's not show me what you've done for me lately. It's show me what you've done lately and then some. Like that to me, it should be the ultimate goal, and the ultimate goal should be to pay Zach Sieler this year. Let's not let. I don't want to hear because he deserves the money, and like,
a lot of people deserve the money.
A lot of people deserve the money. You're right, but do people deserve it like Zach Sieler? Let's paint a picture. Let's paint a picture for you, right? Last year, both the edge rushers go down, right? Like what was thought to be one of the strongest units on your team basically just is decimated in a matter of a couple weeks, right? You're virtually getting no pressure from the outside for weeks until you have Chop Robinson has his little, at the end, coming out party for the season.
Okay.
The only defensive player outside of Jalen Ramsey that was handling business and Jordan Brooks that was handling business on a consistent basis, because you want to have one for each unit, right? The secondary, linebacker crew, and defensive line. For me, you look at Zach Sieler, and not only is he the guy that is talking the talk on the field, he's walking the walk off the field, man. Like that to me is our guy that you want to play. I like guys that are quote unquote blue chip guys that have got it out the mud. And like I like, and that's all respect to Jalen Ramsey and what he's done in his career. I think what he did in his career earned him that extension last year. But the fact of the matter was, it wasn't the best decision because you haven't had him for all that career. You know what I'm saying? You have him right now. And don't get me wrong, he rushed back from the injury, like put up some good stuff, and like that deserves like something. But I don't know if it deserves the contract extension that they gave him. Like, good Lord. I just saw the list that the ESPN released today with the top 10 corners, and I know it's all whatever, but the fact that Jalen Ramsey didn't make the top 10,
that's a lot of young player favoritism. There are so many players on that list, and I'm not caping for Jalen Ramsey. I have a respect for Jalen Ramsey. Am I scared of Jalen Ramsey? Yes, everybody is. But that's favoritism. You go out there and you line them up, and me versus him.
Yeah,
I would probably take Jalen Ramsey over everybody, but maybe 3 cornerbacks on that list.
Even though Jalen Ramsey got routed up a few times last year.
Oh, don't do that. Only Garrett Wilson routed him up. He got caught in some double moves. Come on, a lot of people
are double moves not getting routed up.
Okay, so you telling me everybody Chosen routed up Surtain? He sucked now? Chosen routed him up.
I'm not saying that Jalen Ramsey sucks, for the record.
Everybody get beat once in a while.
Everybody does get beat. Everyone does get beat.
It was a Wilson who just got $130 million contract, not Robbie Chosen, who I got a lot of respect for. Robbie, I love you. Robbie, my dude, he still belongs in the NFL. Robbie Chosen routed up Pat Surtain Jr. Like when
was this? This was
2023. Yeah,
that was 2023. So it wasn't his DPOY year.
No, he was still that dude. He was
still that dude. But you don't believe the 1 year better? He didn't get 1 year better.
No. All I'm saying is I would choose Jalen Ramsey over everybody, but the cat in Houston that snatched the ball from Tyreek.
Yeah, Derek Stingley.
Surtain.
Okay.
And then maybe the Johnson kid in Chicago. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's it.
No respect to Denzel Ward?
Good.
That's fair.
I saw Denzel Ward. What he do against Miami? That team booty cheeks. Jalen Ramsey, you come on. You put him on an island.
I agree. I agree. I think we heard a lot about how he lost the step and all that stuff. And I sure maybe and I will say I can remember it was Brian Thomas Jr., it was Marvin Harrison Jr., and then it was also Garrett Wilson.
Those three scored on.
Those were the 3 guys that definitely got the better of him. And so usually, and it's rare. I don't know if that speaks to the quality of the rookie receiving class or that speaks to a decline in his skill level. Regardless of the fact, he's still a shutdown corner. I still have a lot of respect for him. I don't know if I agree with you. If you taking those are the only 3 cornerbacks you're taking over him, I might be able to name one more guy.
The Gonzalez kid in New
I was
England.
about to say
I like him, but he's only done one season. He got hurt. He balled this rookie season, then got hurt.
That's true.
Came back. He was good. He didn't ball. I need to see, just like you. I need to see. Give me 2 years before I put you ahead of Jalen Ramsey. But anyway,
that's fair.
On that note, I'm playing devil's advocate on the Zach situation. Everybody knows I'm a player's advocate. My take is, and I'm writing a column about it in the Miami Herald. If you claim you want to do the right thing and you want to change the culture and you want to set the culture, you take care of the people who amplify what you want the culture to be.
Exactly.
Zach's the first guy in, the last guy out. You drafted 3 defensive tackles because you want Zach to teach them what they need to do.
Exactly.
And
now you're not paying him? Like, that doesn't make sense.
But see, and that's the thing. That's the hard lesson that players are going to have to learn as they get older. Mm-hmm. These teams are not going to take care of you. You have to twist their arm, bend their arm backwards behind their back, and hold a shank to their side to make them give you the money. And Jalen Ramsey's very good at that. Like now, Zach Sieler, it's not in his personality to get dirty and nasty, but he probably gonna have to get dirty and nasty to get the money.
Question before we wrap up: do you think he should have held out of minicamp? Do you think that would have sent a message?
They know what time it is, and when he doesn't work in training camp and he's standing there watching, they know what time it is, and you don't want him to work, and you want him to get off to a slow start, and your defense get off to a slow start. You knew what time it is. You know what time it is. Look at what you did. Look at what happened to Javon Holland. Not to use him as a perfect example, because I'm sure he will say he gave his best. But did he really give his best?
I mean, he was banged up.
I know, but I'm just trying to get to my 30 million without getting injured.
That's fair.
I don't care about you. You don't care about me. I don't care about you.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, your employer not going to take care of you. Why should you take care of them?
That's right.
Yeah. So welcome to the NFL. We shall see next week. The beginning practice is availability is on Tuesday. We will talk to Mika Fitzpatrick and Darren Waller. Woo, let's wait for those conversations. And then practice, I believe, begins on Wednesday. Dolphins in depth. The goal is to do a podcast every single day we do practice. I don't know if I could deliver on that promise.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, but we do have a new channel. There is a dedicated Dolphins in depth channel, which is not associated with the Miami Herald channel. And I encourage all of you to subscribe to the Dolphins in depth channel so that you can get the updates on when we actually do a podcast. But you know how we rock. You know, training camp. That's my time. I own that thing. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm on my clips flow right now. Like, yeah. You know what time it is. So we will be here for you for training camp, and hopefully the Miami Herald has a $2 for 3 months subscription package. $2 for 3 months. That covers you up until October.
That's real. And by then you better you gotta get it handled. You gotta figure it out. If you like the premium Dolphins content, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. If you want to be behind the paywall, you know what time it is, because I am a paywall person. They put me behind the paywall on purpose. So you know what time it is. I can't promise you that $2 for 3 months is going to continue to be there.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will subscribe. On that note, we will be out. We're out, and we'll be back next week.